Lewis.
Space Boy, or you can call me Alex.
And I'm Audrey.
What the fuck? I'm so sorry I did that. I am so sorry, but I don't know why I said Dierra Lewis like that. It was just so odd. Okay, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Come on, Dierra Lewis.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Calico.
I'm Dierra Lewis.
Space Boy, or you can call me Alex.
And I'm Audrey.
And if you don't know, if you've been to our page, we have just uploaded our new short film by the name of Inhumane. So, you know the routine. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you click on the video first. And we hope you like it.
Today in Millennial Talk War, we'll be discussing colorism in the Black community.
What is colorism to you?
Well, colorism to me, I would say, that's actually a good question, but I guess to me, I would say, like, it's somewhat similar to racism, but it's amongst the, like, actually, in a sense, being, judged, like, by your own people because of, like, a certain complexion or a certain shade. It's like, you know, we like, at the end of the day, like, we are the same race, but it's because we come like a different shade. You just get judged off of that.
I would agree. Being judged by your skin tone, being privileged because one is darker than the other, and so I would say a judgment.
It can be defined as a form of, I would say, like self-hate, because one person could feel, I'm darker than him. I don't get as many privileges afforded to me or whatever. I mean, it's self-hate, not just for the actual self, but for the collective self of Black people. And yeah, I gotta say Black people, because it ain't really no colorism among white people. It ain't no colorism.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind how we are all different shades and we're African American and I'm not gonna just say Caucasians, but other people who may discriminate against our culture because of our skin tone. How? Because my mom looked like you. She white with freckles. You know what I'm saying? She not white like Caucasian, but she's very light. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is it? Is it really about color? Or
I feel like it's always been about color. Like, from years and years ago. Like, we was kind of taught, like, we're not good enough because just based off the color of our skin. Like, it kind of irritates me so much because we're so amazing. Mm-hmm. And they don't, I'm not gonna say they, because I mean, but I do kind of want to say they, but they don't appreciate that. Like, and you know, just being the Black community, we kind of put each other down too with, I don't know.
Not necessarily. I won't like put all the blame on us, although we do have like certain things we have done to continue with, but colorism actually is not supposed to be a thing. It's to me, it's like a Americanized, it's like a systematic way for us to divide each other without us not knowing psychologically. So color, like you mentioned, it's always never been a thing. It's always been a thing for white people. You know what I'm saying?
And they're the ones with the most colors.
Yeah, red, pink, you can name it. So even like with us, like even like during the time.
Sorry, Christian, that was okay. Okay, yes, can't say that.
Even like with the times during like, you know, slavery, when the slaves and the slave master, you know, will often have like children that come out probably like brown skin or light skin. You know what I'm saying? They will get the most attention because they're more close to, you know, white. And that's just been that's just been like passed down from generations to generations, you know, psychologically.
Yeah, I would offer though, the Willie Lynch theory, if anybody's familiar with that. It's basically, like he said, it's the basis for the division between black people among, within different colors and everything. So many institutions still do that. I know fraternities and most notably some sororities, they had paper bag tests that they did with people when they wanted to pledge or join or whatever you want to call it. I'm an independent, but I know some of my stuff. And if you didn't pass that paper bag test, like I would say a paper bag is you lighter than a paper bag. You get to get in. They will let you actually have a fair shot. You look like me, then you're going to have to grind a little bit harder and hope that you get to be put in there.
Oh,
but
wow.
there are some things.
I got a question. The idea of colorism, is that something that is taught or something that's subscribed to?
It's taught without being taught, if that makes sense.
So,
I mean, it's both.
Okay.
I'm going to say definitely it's both. Because people are definitely going to follow what they see, you know what I'm saying, or what's there, or what's taught to them, or whatever the case may be. But once you get to a certain point in your life where you see, because honestly, I've been in college classes with so many different people, and literally, it was a Caucasian, the sweetest girl ever. She literally said she did not think that racism was still a thing, and it pissed me off as soon as she said it.
Right, but then
it pissed me off. But when she continued to talk, because I literally played no games in my classes, I said, wait, me next. I'm going back at you. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of whatever. But she literally said that she was homeschooled and she was coddled. Literally, they were whatever religion it was or whatever. So she literally really didn't have no life, honestly. So she didn't really know what the outside world was. Right. Probably all her family is her nationality. She probably never had a black friend. Never, you know what I'm saying? So when she explained that to me, I'm like, some people are really sheltered until they get out into the world. And when they learn things, they have that opportunity. That's just even with religion, you know what I'm saying? You can be raised up as a Christian or whatever the case may be. But if you wanted to explore and read what's the book that book, whatever. But people have their own, they can leave, they can choose and choose. I'm getting all twitched up. Sorry. They can choose
how they feel about.
Well, before we continue,
exactly,
because we kind of divvied off a lot from colorism into racism and religion.
Oh no, I was just
that's
saying.
What I'm saying. I don't want to, because going with that example, that was more example of racism, which is totally fine, but colorism. You know what I'm saying? That's why I asked, is that something that's taught or subscribed?
But no, well, my point is just it's definitely taught. You know what I'm saying? It's taught, but subscribing. Let me just ask you, what you mean is
so when I mean subscribe is more so can any of you give an example where your grandma or someone else said X, Y, and Z, light skinned people are X, Y, and Z, or did you go out into the world? That's what happened. You was that must be how they treat light skinned people or dark skinned people. Did you subscribe to it, or was it actually taught to you? Y'all dark skinned people gonna get treated bad out here, baby. You ain't gonna think you as pretty, baby, because you dark skinned or something like that. Was that actually taught to you and told to you, or did you actually go out here in high school maybe and see all of the pretty girls in quotation are light skinned? Maybe because I'm dark skinned, that might be why. So did you subscribe to it, or is that something that you see more common, is that somebody subscribes to the ideology more so than it's taught? Because it's I'm gonna be honest, nowadays in society, I wouldn't say that the root of what we're seeing and the prejudice that Christian was speaking about or that nature comes from taught colorism. Is more so taught privilege and things of that aspect. Yeah. And so at that point, your skin tone gets body within that, you know what I'm saying? And then you subscribe to that. Okay, well, maybe the reason I do got this Gucci bag is because I am a prettier girl, and I'm a prettier girl because I ain't as darker. Whatever you may or may not subscribe to, but that's what I mean. It was is it really taught? Is what I mean. Because racism to me is taught. That's definitively taught. Colorism is something I feel is subscribed to through things that we see as we venture off into the world. So that's why I was kind of clarifying the difference between what you meant. Because even like when you started talking, I didn't want to cut you off because what you were saying was valid.
Right.
But I was looking for an example of colorism, and when I was like, okay, she kind of not really.
Right, I'm going all.
That's what I'm like, okay, that's the point that I meant, where it's like, is it really taught? Because then it'd be like, well, yeah, my grandma, when I was like 6 or 7, she told me all the time that little girls that was, you know what I'm saying? Then that's more of a taught. Like, okay, so now we have to unlearn something, but that's what I meant.
I say it's taught without being taught, not at least not intentionally. You know, you gotta like, it's some stuff you like experience. You know,
and I would.
They always say experience is like the best teacher too, but it's like most costly. So even like I mentioned to Alex earlier, like when I was in middle school, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, kids back in the day were dicks, for real, especially the school we went to, man. Oh my God. So, and like I said, well, I'll probably take a little back further. Like when I was in Catholic school, I remember it was this guy who used to bully me. He was like, you know, dark skinned and I mean, nothing like that, but his complexion was beautiful, you know what I'm saying, real smooth, you know what I'm saying, real dark skin. And for some reason he used to pick on me, you know, that's when he used to call me white boy, this and that, you know, just because my mom dressed me a certain way, because my hair was a certain way, you know what I'm saying. He just didn't like it, and I just never understood that. But I mean, as I got older, then I was like, okay, pretty much understand, but so I could say psychologically I was taught.
And I'm not even gonna like try and go back and forth, but even from his standpoint, like the dark skinned brother, what if his subscription that he took it with, because I'm going with the idea of subscribe, right? That you subscribe to it. He's like, I don't get as many girls or as attention as this dude. Your perspective might be he's a smooth brother, he might have been tall, buff, whatever. He should have no problems. But he might be looking at you like, bro, this dude got it way too easy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like that's pretty what it was.
And that's probably what it was, 100%. And then it's like, being older, you start to learn, to me, the inside of what's going on. So like, we in middle school, kids are dicks because they're expressing what's going on at the home. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So then it's like the deeper conversation. That's why I'd be like, sometimes with certain things, I look at the root or where it come from, and then that usually stems as to why. And then now you go to mama and daddy, now we're dealing with an age thing where it's like, okay, they might experience the colorism that you spoke on, like in the Spike Lee films and stuff like that, paperback access, where it's like, okay, now we can see kind of a lineage thing as to why this is like going on to me.
Yeah, I think society subscribes to the whole idea of colorism as a whole.
Yeah.
Because even thinking back to both sets of grandparents that I have, or whatever. Both of my grandfathers, dark as night. Mm-hmm. Guess what their wives look like?
Very light skinned.
Very like high yellow.
Yeah, high yellow.
High yellow.
Yeah.
And
definition. Yeah.
Back then, that was the thing to have. You got a high yellow girlfriend or wife or whatever, you gonna have yourself some pretty kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. They'd be able to go through life smooth as butter. And I saw that like myself, not only just observing that with my grandparents, but when I moved from Detroit to Royal Oak with my schools in high school, the girls there in my first school in Detroit, you know, the light skinned ones, you'll see like everybody would kind of like coddle them and talk to them and want to be with them. But the darker girls, like they never got no love or whatever. But it was kind of flipped on its head just a tiny bit when I went out to Royal Oak. Like all the girls there, mostly white girls, they went for kind of like the darker guys. And you see that even like in college or whatever. Like, you know, a dude, handsome, dark as night or whatever, he'll end up with the ugliest white girl. I don't get it. But it's just something that's not only subscribed to as a whole, like with genealogy or lineages or whatever, but it's something that is taught to you over time. You go like, oh, this is the way to be. This is what they're telling me to do. This is how I gotta be in order to, you know, get forward. So that's my little bit.
I just, real quick comment, I do feel like it was taught back in the day because it had to be.
I would say like it was taught, I feel, somewhat and subscribed to. Me, I'm gonna take my experience. It came from In home, when I had like grew up with all boy cousins, we had cap on each other, of course, but it was always you dark skin, you black this, you black that. And then when I get to school and get the same,
It's reinforced.
Yeah, reinforcement of being talked about, and it's like, okay, well, is there something really wrong with me? Is this a bad thing that I'm dark? And I remember being in 5th grade, and this boy who was my friend, we would cap on each other, and I can remember this as clear as day. He was talking about me, and I was just like, I was so fed up, and I was just like, so long as I'm here. And he was like, dang. And I was like, what you say dang for? He was like, because like what you just said. And from that day on, he never said nothing else about my complexion. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's taught. I got it from in home, and then when I got to school. But I'll talk more deep into the story once we get into.
So like outside of what she just described, is there anyone else like has like more like a personal experience, or like how she said like growing up, like getting talked about was like more of an example of like that talk kind of mentality, like to tap on each other and then like slowly getting reinforced over time. Like
I still get talked about.
Right. And that's what
I don't know where, I gotta kind of do some deep rooting thinking into where this comes from. But it truly irritates my soul when people call me light skinned. Like, it truly does. Like, I hate it. I really hate it. And I don't know where it comes from, but I know, like, all my life, you know what I'm saying, I was categorized like that. But if you look at my legs and my arms, I'm really caramel. Like, that's my skin tone. I ain't playing with nobody. But, you know.
Do you think that's a form of, like,
defense? It's like a something. It's like a defense. I don't know what it is, but it really grinds my gears when somebody calls me light skin. I hate it. But like I never was like talked about or really exposed to too much colorism for real. I've been to a lot of different schools, and like I witnessed them talk about light-skinned girl with the big forehead. I witnessed them talk about a dark-skinned girl with the short hair. You know what I'm saying? So like it was like a mixture for me. So like I really never paid attention to it really in school because it wasn't like smack dead in my face. But I did just want to say, and I'm in it, like when I referenced back in the day it being taught because it had to, like grandma needed to let her little black girl know that about colorism, because she gonna go out into the world and think everything is okay and dandy when this white man is ready to, you know what I'm saying, like nah. So like she had to let her know back then, but like now I'm not. No, I don't really see too much of it being taught. Like, you know, your mama telling you like, girl, you dark, you might as well not, you know what I'm saying, not these days. So I would definitely say,
when it comes to systematic racism, it brings it down to a source of privilege. And I feel like when you really think about it in the black community, we deem that to be a true fact. It's not, supposed to be true, but we've made it true to a point where light skins are more privileged than darker skin tones. How do y'all feel about that privilege aspect? Because privilege is for everybody. White people have privilege. We, even in our own community, we kind of stem that privilege and we try to pass that around when in all actuality, we're all black,
Exactly. Well, I would like first begin to ask like, what is like the definition of privilege like to everybody? Because everybody got their own definition of privilege, like everybody got their own definition of success. So like, like I mentioned before, a lot of people looked at me, thought, I'm always ahead of life. I'm not gonna like anything easily. When actually in reality, I had to work a lot more harder. Like, even like as I was getting older, like I feel like I could not really fit in with a certain crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't really fit in with like people in my own community because I'm too bright. I can't, befriend white people because I'm too dark. You know what I'm saying? So it's like always, you know what I'm saying? It was always always like a middle ground for me. So I just remember like, cause my mom was like very, very Afrocentric. So I remember like she gave me like some books to read and stuff like that on like Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, watch some speeches from Kwame Ture, Fred Hampton, Black Panther Party, just anything like, anything in that nature. So I remember like I befriended like a lot of people like brown or dark, and it was like, oh man, I thought she was like, they really just like took one look at me and they already just made like a final judgment. They didn't think I was like really for the cause and stuff like that. And I just know, you know, that's how I felt like in a sense I was what they say earning my like black card or something like that. I don't know how to like, like say for real. But I just know like, yeah, that's how I was able to like, befriend a lot of people. I mean, that was like an easy way for me to befriend a lot of people that way. I mean, it sucks, but still.
What everybody else think about privilege?
I feel privilege is pretty much who you know type of thing. I mean, of course, I feel dark-skinned women, they kind of like at the bottom of the barrel with getting certain things, being successful type of thing. Like, we have to fight twice as hard. It's a confidence thing too, making sure that we know who we are as a person, being dark skinned, but actually fighting for what it is that we want. Who you know, what I mean by that, not what you know, but who you know. It could be me and Dierra going for the same thing, or same type of job, and I may know the person and she don't, and I may get it just because I know them, but not because, me being dark skinned, if you kind of get what I mean, like, or vice versa. She may get the job just because, she knows such, and I'm not going to get it because, she's a dark skinned girl, we don't want her. We want the lighter girl. So I would say it's pretty much based off who you know, not what you know.
I think as a whole, it's pretty much subjective to, whoever is on the outside looking in. Because me, I'm a darker complected person. Can't say the word, I really want to. But I'm a darker complected person, and when you, as a whole, when you look at darker complected people, you automatically assume that the person is going to have a harder way through life. And me, I'm quote unquote privileged, and I will admit it. My parents, they sheltered me. They bought me everything I wanted, even though, I did what I had to do for it. Like, they put $5,000 in my pocket, $10,000 in my pocket right now just because I'm doing good.
My cash app is Dierra.
Yeah, but the thing is, you wouldn't expect that from somebody like me. Like, I got both kinda, but both my parents being together, most people don't have their parents together. You think that somebody like Christian right here, because he's lighter, he should have those two things together, but I'm not trying to bag on you, but he doesn't. Like, I don't know everybody else's familial situation or whatever, but you would think just they would have somebody like not Dierra, like Audrey would have a harder way through life.
I mean, you alright?
You okay?
Man, I had a rough too. No, but I lost it.
Dennis. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No, mine's just quick. I just know that white privilege is a thing. It's always going to be a thing, even when they don't know it. It's a thing.
And the Calico showed that.
I don't never really look. I'm glad I'm having this conversation because, like I said, it was never nothing would smack me in the face. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because I'm a lighter complexion. You know what I'm saying? So like, I never even thought of like, even like my best friend, she dark. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like little things she references like when she was younger. People would say little stuff, not really like bashing her, but you know what I'm saying, like about her being dark. And I'm like, that's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never, because we black, we all black. That's just how I think of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that I'm going to say would be the light-skinned niggas, but it's the way that they act. It's not about them being light-skinned. It's about the way that they act. Me dealing with light-skinned men. And that's a stigma. If you ever hear about it, whatever. I'm cool with it now. Sorry, Christian. I like that.
And
Not like that.
No, and it's crazy because I like to piggyback off that because a lot of light-skinned guys, even I really want to say, like from the 80s, like with Prince and DeBarge, they kind of like set this standard, like light-skinned guys are like real pretty boys and they gotta be a certain way.
Yeah, I hate that.
So even when like now, like if I want to, even if like I want to like, let me say if I want to get like a pedicure or something. Like, something simple. I think everybody here gets pedicures, right? Or manicures or something like that. Nothing too crazy where like I get like polished, nothing like that. But at least, my feet done, haircut, just.
You don't get the clear coat?
Just the groom. Yeah, just the groom, you know what I'm saying? I get talked about that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be called Zetsy and stuff like that. And, like, sometimes it, like, kind of gets me because kind of, like, kind of grow up. I had, like, a little self-esteem issue. A lot of people don't know about that. So, it's like, I feel like I kind of, like, be shy or scared to, like, do certain stuff because I don't like to be judged, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the black community for you. We judge on everything.
Because we were so used to being judged, we don't have nothing else to do but judge
You
each
have
other.
to be perfect.
Like literally. And that's just, it's frustrating. We really need to all just, okay.
So what, like, far as this generation moving forward, and you see like little black boys and little black girls, of all different hues, like what would you tell, if you even had a younger sibling that was like 6, as an example, like what would you tell that younger sibling about their skin complexion, no matter which, hue they were?
It's funny that you say that. I encountered with a young girl probably like a month ago, and she was just staring. She's dark skinned, full of hair, and she would like not give me the time of day. Like, she'd stare at me, she'd look me up and down, like, and her mom would be like, "Why are you doing that to her?" Like, every time I go over, she just got this venom against me, and I'm just like, you so pretty, and she just walk right on past, and like she just completely ignored me, and I just was thinking like, why is she like? Is it because we both dark skinned? Like, I was just like, and her mom thought that too, like maybe because y'all both dark skinned, and she opened up to me and started talking to me, and it was just like, where did this come from? But I always tell her like, you were so pretty, like, because she really is. Like, I would tell any young kid that's dealing with colorism or their skin complexion that just be who you are. Don't worry about what nobody have to say. And just love yourself.
Maybe that was like her first time actually hearing that from, somebody other than her parents or something.
Probably so.
Same skin
just
complexion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good though.
Yeah, any advice to somebody younger than me? Like, I have a niece and a nephew, and they're about the same shade that I am. But I always tell them they have to love themselves, because at the end of the day, you stuck with yourself. And I have to, well, one of their parents ain't nothing, my brother. But I feel like I have to pick up the slack sometimes and actually be the one to reinforce something like that to them. Because their mom, she overwhelmed. She trying to do what she can do, hit all the big points and everything. But helping somebody, especially at a young age, learn how to love themselves, that's going to go a long way. Because sometimes I felt like, I was lesser because of things that I've seen or things that I was a part of as a kid. And if I know that I could turn that around for them, especially with the kids that they be around, and I'm pretty sure, like, have y'all been to like an elementary school around here? Not on some weird stuff, but like picking up a little kid, like, do they still say like African booty scratcher and stuff like that?
That is so funny.
I think that was just our time.
That was our time?
Yeah,
Okay.
was our
But
time.
still, like, you can't let that stuff get you down. Like, you have to be comfortable within your own skin and forget what anybody else has to say about it.
I would definitely say it's a journey to overcome, because as I was growing up and me getting compliments, I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know how to take that. Oh, you a pretty dark skinned girl. You beautiful. Like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I know you're pretty to be dark skinned. I get that. But like why do I have to be that? But I'm just saying, just in general. Oh, you beautiful. You pretty. This and that. I didn't know how to take that. I didn't know how to accept that, because I was so used to not hearing it. I was used to being told the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So me growing up, and my confidence has just grew, and I grew up with light-skinned girls that I now call my sisters, and I tell them all to this day, like, y'all are the ones that help me with my confidence the way I am, because I can go and be, I love my skin now, but like growing up with them, they had long, pretty hair, and they just accepted me. We was young. We was probably like 10, 11. And so that really helped me. Like, they accepted me for who I was. They never talked about me, not one time, even on no playing stuff, no games. They never talked about my skin complexion. And this is like 3 light-skinned girls with long, pretty hair. So, and I just looked at them, and they looked at me and was just like, we just who we are.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
that's just, you know, I would say they really helped me with my confidence as being the woman that I am today, loving my skin and, you know, like I said, going through the journey of being a dark-skinned woman.
Yeah, well, you took it.
So,
But
solid.
I definitely would give advice to a younger sibling, kid, or child, whoever, and just say, you know, definitely love yourself and be comfortable in the skin that you're in. You know, should never come to the point when somebody has ever said something to you about your skin or whatever the case may be, and you get upset for, you know, or get your feelings get hurt and you get all out of whack. It's easier said than done. Obviously, being a kid, you know what I'm saying, you still growing, you know, so like, how are you supposed to deal with that? But you know, I just know how I would definitely treat if something was to ever happen to like my kid or something, or somebody ever said something. I would literally have a whole YouTube full of people if that's their skin color and show them, like, look at that, she got your same skin tone, look at her, she's a superstar, like, she is a doctor, look at her, she is a, you know what I'm saying, like, look at these people. We have come a long way in our culture in general. Like, what, we really out here. We had a whole black president. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So I just want the kids to just know, like, we out here. So regardless, dark skin, light skin, you know, screw what anybody got to say to you. Be you, love yourself unconditionally, regardless of the fact of the matter.
That's the moral.
Mm-hmm.
So any other closing remarks? Anything you might want to say?
I'm black and I'm proud.
Can we all do that at once?
Oh, that would be nice.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
I'm black and I'm proud. But no, y'all, for real. Love y'all. Peace. Stay safe. MBE out.
Peace.